So we have to remember that we should be the foundation first. Because the foundation of a cake is 99% dough, you know? Icing is a small layer. Icing is a small, thin layer. So we should play the same way. A foundation, it's got to feel good. It's got to groove. And here's the thing, this is not only for bass players, this is for any instruments. No one's going to call you for a gig just because you have icing, just because you have bliss. No one's calling you for that. They're calling you to make the music feel good. It's about the music. So we should never forget that it is about the music. And here's the interesting thing. Listeners, especially the listeners who know nothing about music, they understand that. When a song comes on, the true listener knows what it means because it makes their body move or not. They don't have to ask what time signature is it in, what key is it in. They just dance. Musicians, we're so far removed from music that before we can play, we have to ask a whole bunch of questions. We got a tune. So we're so far away from music because of our instrument. The instrument is between us and music. And I work tirelessly to try to get people past that. Let's just play. When it's time to play, it's time to play. At home, we'll practice. A singer sings once the music starts. Musicians should play, well, a singer is a musician, but instrumentalists should play the same way. I'm just brainstorming just to throw a lot of things out at you. And I tell you what, I'll just stop and see, does anybody have a question? Yes, sir.
One of the main things that I find really hard to do is to keep myself interested.
To keep one of the main things you find hard to do is to keep yourself interested.
Yeah, I find myself always going from one thing to the next, not being able to really, as you said, if music is a language, I find it really hard to find the words to say because I find them, continuously contradicting in my head. Should I say this, or should I say that, or should I be happy, or should I be sad, or does it even matter that I should say anything? Why play? I haven't answered that question in my head. Why play? That's a problem with me. Do you have an answer with that?
The real thing is no, I don't have an answer for that. Next question. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, but it's something for you to figure out. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that music has to be about, okay, there's a dog and he's hopping the fence and he's running through the grass and then there's flowers. No, it can be a feeling. It can be emotion. The cool thing about music is you don't have to have words for it. You don't have to have words. What your problem probably is, and I'm guessing, is that you're trying to play too complicated. You probably, what's your instrument? Bass?
I play a few.
Okay, what's your main instrument? What's in that bag?
That's a bass.
Okay, it's a bass. Okay, so you're probably like looking at me and you hear me play all this stuff. You're probably looking at Flea and Les Claypool, and that's your mind, right? So when you play, that's kind of at the forefront of your mind, and what's coming out of you doesn't sound like us. That's not a problem, right? Don't try to play way up here, complicated. Come down here and play something simple and make it feel so good that anyone listening will understand, will cry, will laugh, or whatever. Right? A lot of the times when we're running into trouble, we're just trying to play too complicated. Right? So just bring it down. Not one level, not two, 10. And come down to here where note-wise, technique-wise, I don't even have to think. That way I can feel. Because the listeners want to feel your music. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to analyze. Musicians want to analyze. But most people aren't musicians. They want to feel something. So bring it down to where you can feel it. Right? Does that make sense? I don't know if that's the answer, but it's something for you to try.
The only thing that feels good is a groove,
That's all we want.
But then after a while, I want to change the groove, do something a little more funky, and then I dig it, and then I'm like, wow, that's cool. But then that's it. But then what happens after that?
What you need to do, you practice a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, get out of the practice room. Okay? What do you talk about in life? If you don't have anything to talk about, you need to get out of the house.
I talk about aliens a lot.
Yeah, okay. All right. Play about it. If that's what strikes you, play about it. But you got to get out of the house. You got to go out and have an experience. You got to fall in love, get your heart broken. You got to, you know, go to the zoo, all that stuff, so that you have something to talk about. So that you have something to talk about. See, think about this. If I want to learn to speak, what's the language? Is it Bengali?
Yeah.
If
Hindi.
What is it?
Hindi.
Hindi. If I want to learn to speak Hindi, you think I'm going to get good at it in a practice room? Or do I need to get out of that room and spend some time with some people speaking it?
I don't get out much.
There you go. Thank you. Next question. That's an easy one. If you just started with, I don't get out much, but I would have had the answer right away. There's your answer. That's not a joke. You're not going to get good in a practice room. Right? The world is happening around you, and you're missing it. You show me someone that practices 8 hours a day, I'll show you someone that's hard to get along with. And that's not a joke. There's a lot of girlfriends going on. Okay. Yes?
Yeah. I had a question which is kind of, it is sort of two questions in the same thing.
Two questions?
Yeah, but it's based on, like, I've been trying to figure out a nice melody that went over a few chords. So, like I was watching you do, you can tap the melody and you're playing a bunch of harmonic chords behind it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have that kind of technique to tap. So, what can I do to improve the tapping? Which is one.
You're a bass player?
Yeah.
You'll never get hired because you can tap.
Yeah, that's true.
First of all, it's a good thing to know how to do, but I do want you to understand. Because you're going to probably spend most of your time learning to tap, and it'll never get you a gig.
That's true.
So make sure you're spending a little time for, well, if you want to gig. Spend the time doing the things that's going to get you work.
That's true.
That's the first thing. Now, to answer your question, you're trying to do what I do. Bring it down here. Right? If I want to play... Okay? You can tap. Anybody in this room can tap it the first time. Doesn't mean it's going to be fast, but you can do it. So you say you don't have the technique to do it. I say you do. Even if it's one finger. Once you have that much, put a bass note on it. Right? If you don't know what it is, play anything and listen. If I don't like that one, I move it in either direction. One, and watch. Okay, I'm going to go back to the wrong note. Check it out. If I don't like that one, I move it in either direction. You're never more than a half step away, ever. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. You're never more than a half step away, ever. So, it's not hard. Bass line, melody. So that note works, but I may not like it. So I'll go somewhere else. If I don't like it, let's test this theory. I'm never more than a half step away, okay? I already know this one works. Let's go down. You could do that the first day. Did that seem hard to you?
A little bit, but I'll believe you.
That did seem hard? Not okay, but if it does, then you do it here. Slow it down. Right, fast is just slow, speed it up.
Thank you.